to the MMA Fan Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Stu and Blake.
Hello and welcome to the MMA Fan Show. I am Blake Harrison and joining me as always is Stuart Within.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going all right. Yeah, not too bad. How's you?
Yeah, all good. Kids have got mates over today. The joys of summer holidays. So, if you hear any chaotic noises, it's just the kids fighting, killing each other, whatever it is that they do these days.
See, at least you still get racket, because your kids are pretty young, whereas mine are grown up. All I get is how you doing, girls? You all right? That's it. That's a good day, mate.
Oh no, I just had a really great comment. So my son's 8 and his mates come over, who's also 8. It'd be weird if he was 72. But they were playing a bit of Astrobot on the PS5, and I've come in and I've been I remember this level. I love this level. Oh, what have you been playing lately? And then I've just had genuinely a really great conversation with an 8-year-old about Spider-Man and PS5 games and Jedi Survivor and all this stuff. I'm like, this is excellent.
See, I don't know if that just means they're very mature for their age or you're just tragic. It's one or the other,
it's
isn't
the
it?
latter. It's definitely the latter. I think I've already talked about this on the show. My wife got me a VR set for my birthday. I've turned 40 and I'm in the living room and I am Batman. I'm literally Batman on a VR set, cape gliding around the living room. It's tragic and it's sad, but I absolutely love it.
Well, look, we got a fun episode to do today because, basically there was a card at the weekend. I was away, so I haven't seen it. I think you're going to sort of just fill me in on some of the bits that I need to go and check up on, and then
fill you right in, mate.
Fucking fill you right in, son. And then
fill you right in.
And then we're going to get some. We're going to get cracking on the questions that you just sent in. I should say as well, you have been really fucking fantastic with the input of questions.
We had 60 questions sent to us within an hour. Yeah. It was insane. And I just have to say, we spoke about this the last time we did a questions episode. And I think because of the amount of questions we've got to do 2 or 3 episodes based around these questions because we just got so many. We're so grateful for it. It's such a crazy thing.
I'm not that grateful. I'm not that grateful. I mean, you really...
What, because it's giving you loads of work to do?
I've got to do a load of research. I'm grateful. I'm not really grateful. I can get a bit of perspective here. Fucking hell.
Stu's already got enough bosses and things going on in his life. And then all of you listeners have now become a boss to him. It's within the next 4 days, I need this research done and this question answered. Thank you very much, Whiffin.
Yeah.
But no, I'm truly grateful for it because it's just I don't know, just to have started this podcast. Granted, it was a few years ago now. We don't, but it's been it's still a slow burn. We're not really, as we've mentioned, making any money.
It still costs us each month.
Yeah, it still costs us money to do this show. But every time I have someone come up to me and say, "Oh, I love the podcast," it just it makes it all a bit worth it, And I was on 5 Live the other day talking about Bookish. Actually, I'll use this platform to plug a couple of things I've done. Heavyweight film I did about a boxer has won an award at Rain Dance Festival, which is a British independent film kind of festival. So that's really good. So hopefully Heavyweight will keep doing well. And I was on 5 Live talking about that and Bookish, which is on You and Alibi. You can stream the whole series now. If you have got Sky, Virgin or Now TV, that's Bookish on You and Alibi. And that's done so well. Second series is already commissioned. We'll be filming that soon. And I was on 5 Live talking about that. And obviously, because it's 5 Live and it's a sport thing, I got talking a little bit about MMA. And someone wrote in saying, just wanted to say, I love the podcast, Blake, here, and gave us a question about MMA. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. So like you're on 5 Live talking about one thing and then the old podcast rears its head again.
Lovely.
So again, thank you to everyone that sends in the question, takes time out of their lives to just drop us a little message on Instagram. If you haven't done it yet, give us a little follow on the socials or give us a little, like a 5-star rating or a like or whatever the hell you do on podcasting. You know this stuff more than me, but any of that stuff really helps us out. Or subscribe on YouTube or whatever. We will try and get back in the studio eventually, but I am shackled to my children at the moment or during summer holidays. So it's very hard for me to get to the studio at the moment. But I just wanted to, that's just basically a long-winded way of me saying thanks very much for everyone that's stuck with us on this journey, the highs and lows, and the nonsense that we come out with, and the odd gem here and there that we come out with. Thank you very much for sticking with us.
Well, look, looking at Saturday, I believe there was an odd gem with a gem of a previous guest, Chris Duncan. Now, like I said, I didn't see the fight, but oh my God, the socials were lit up all talking about Chris Duncan's fight. So give us a bit of an overview, Blake.
I mean, it was just chaos. I mean, it was one of those cards where you're looking at it and going, yeah, I'm not overly excited about this card. And yet there was 2 fights on that card, maybe arguably 3, but definitely 2, that you were just like, this was an absolute banger. And the first one was Ribovics versus Elvis Brenner, and that was just a great fight. And Ribovics looks so good. Like I thought that was a really great fight. But then you thought you've seen, that was a fantastic fight. That'll be fight of the night. Nothing's touching that. It's a fantastic fight. Then all of a sudden, Chris Duncan's like, hold my beer, lads. And he is just there with Rebetsky. I think he lost the first round and then he won the next 2. And I think, did Rebetsky come out for round 3 with an eye that I was like, well, that's swollen shut. The ref's got to stop it. Nope, carried on, still going. And it was just carnage. Duncan had a huge gash under his eye that was just pouring blood. Rebetsky's eye was just swollen, and it was just, and that was from an elbow, Duncan elbow. Duncan's getting better and better and better. Look, when he first got into the UFC, I think we were like, we all want him to do well. He's a Brit. We want him to do well. And then you were never 100% kind of like sure. It wasn't like his performances were like really capturing the imagination or anything like that. And then he just seems to be getting slowly and surely better and better and better. And then obviously he beat Jordan Vucenic, which I had mixed feelings about because I want to see Duncan do well, but I love Jordan Vucenic as well. And now this fight against Rebetsky, who's a really solid top, like good fighter, Rebetsky, and lightweight as a division is an insane division. If Chris Duncan was the same sort of level, but at light heavyweight or middleweight or heavyweight, he'd be in the top 15.
Yeah.
But because lightweight is so stacked, he's probably like number 30 because it's lightweight is just an insane division. So yeah, but good. Like what a performance! A well-earned 50 grand bonus. It was one of those rare occurrences as well. I talked about the Ribovics Brenner fight. One of those rare moments where performance bonuses were just 2 fight of the nights. So that goes to show what that card was. And yes, you can look it on paper and go, not really something I'm overly bothered about. And I would have done the same thing. If I didn't have like this show and was talking about it so often, I might have looked at last night's card and gone, I might skip it. I might do something else, or, I won't bother waking up and watching it Sunday. I'll be with the kids, whatever it is. But I'm so glad I got to watch it and enjoy it. And then obviously the main event, Tatsuro Taira, who, he's only like 25 years old or whatever he is. It just made really short work of Heeson Park. It's definitely a guy that will fight for a belt very soon. Possible future champion. I mean, he's so young, so good. His grappling's phenomenal. And it was light work for him on the night. He called for a title shot. And I'm just kind of like, is that right? Does Tatsuro Taira get a title shot after previously being beaten by Royval? But as we know, flyweight's in such an odd position. Because even Michael Bisping, this was a weird moment. Michael Bisping asks Tatsuro Taira, so who do you want to call out? And Ciro Tyra as well. I want the winner of Josh Van Pantoja. I want that title shot. And even Bisping, at first I was like, that's not a good call out, mate. You've probably got to get one more. And even Bisping went, yeah, but you'll probably have to get one more, won't you? So who else would it be? And it's like, that's so unusual for a commentator to just go, that's a stupid call out, mate. Yeah. Who do you really want? Come on.
Mind your neck in Big Shot. You ain't there yet.
Exactly. That's basically what Bisping did to him, which is really funny, but also sort of unprofessional. But yeah, you know, he's young. He's ranked 6. Great wrestler. But then, you know, Pantoja needs fresh matchups, man. That's why Josh Van's getting his shot. I know Josh Van obviously put on a Fight of the Year contender against Royval, but the reason he got the Royval fight was because Cap went injured and they need these young guys coming through and all that. So Pantoja, if he beats Van, who are you getting to fight Pantoja? Like maybe Tatsuro Taira is there.
Unless he fights Cap first and the winner of that.
What, unless Tatsuro Taira fights Cap?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, yeah, that's not a bad shout. Yeah, no, do you know what? I actually would like that fight. I think that's a good shout. Because I do think Tyra probably needs one more, and he's so young. I think it's okay. He doesn't need to rush him. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what goes on there. But that was just a funny little interaction between Bisping and Tyra. It's just like, stupid call out. Next one. But overall, it was a decent card. Obviously, outside of the main event, and there could have been more stakes, but outside of the main event, not a huge amount at stake other than wins and losses and win bonuses for fighters and all that kind of stuff. But great to see Chris Duncan do well. Shout out also to Nathan Fletcher. It didn't go his way. He liver kick really early. You could just see something in his face where it's like, oh, am I all right? I want to carry on, but his body just wasn't allowing him to. Those liver kicks just shut you down. But hopefully he'll be back. I don't think he would have taken it's not like he's taking loads of damage and stuff like that. So hopefully he can come back quickly and get back in the win column.
Absolutely. One of the nicest guys in the sport.
100%, 100%. Shall we move on to our questions?
Yes, Blake Harrison, you've picked some of these, so I'll let you lead and you fire them out, and we'll work our way through them.
Okie dokie. Well, one of the things I want to just say is obviously because we got so many questions, there's no way we're getting through all of them today. So hopefully we'll do a couple of more episodes and get pretty much all of these questions answered. If your question hasn't been answered, it's either we're going to try and do it on another episode, or it's something we did a questions episode maybe about a month ago or something like that, and it might be similar to something we've answered recently. Or
it's just shit.
Or it's just a shit question, and you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. So, Connor Scottson has said, the heavyweight division needs some serious work. What 3 heavyweights from other promotion should the UFC bring in to challenge the top 10? Now, there's one incredibly obvious name on there, and I'm trying to get people that are not just challenging the top 10, but challenging Tom Aspinall, which is, on paper, it's quite hard to do. We might talk more about Tom and everything that's going on with him as the show goes on, or in next episode with the questions, see how they run. But when you're looking at this, you have to go Francis Ngannou. I know that's unlikely with the history and Dana White and Ngannou and all these things, contracts, PFL. But if we're talking in a magical world where we can just bring over 3 heavyweights that can actually really make an impact and improve that top 10, which, as Connor's saying here, the top 10, the heavyweight division isn't great at the moment outside of maybe like the top 3 or 4. And then Tom's already fought a lot of them, and now he's scheduled to fight Garn as well. So I think you've got to go Francis Ngannou. Lineal heavyweight champ. You know, he never lost his belt. He beat Garn. He went over to the PFL. He's never lost in MMA since becoming the champ. So he's the lineal heavyweight champ. And he's the biggest name. You've got to bring him in. Outside of that, you can slightly pick and choose, but I'm going to go Vadim Nemkov. Vadim Nemkov, light heavyweight champion in Bellator, did really well, has now moved up to heavyweight. He's got 2 heavyweight, I believe, finishes in his PFL fights over at heavyweight. And he's only 33 years old, which for a heavyweight is young. So I don't know how much he'll challenge Tom, because he'll be giving up probably 2 stone in weight, someone like Tom Aspinall. But I think in terms of quality, Vadim Nemkov is right up there. I don't think you're going to get many better heavyweights outside of the UFC than Vadim Nemkov. Do you want me to go again, or do you want to chip in?
No, I mean, to be honest, the only two I had were them two. I couldn't think of anyone else really in the other organisations that are overly exciting that are going to pose a threat to Tom.
Well, because we have to go with three, I've got an option for you. I've got two. I think you either go, let's have some fun. Let's bring in Phil DeFries. He won't fight Tom because I think they've trained together for a long time. He's had 11 or 12 like KSW title defenses, but he is 39 years old. So he's up there in age. But in terms of just fun, unbeaten since 2017, Phil DeFries, I think that could be a lot of fun. That's your guy. But if you're looking at someone that's like maybe someone that could genuinely challenge and contend for the belt and all these kind of things, I've got a slightly maverick pick. And it's Corey Anderson, because he's just moved up to heavyweight. Again, he was like a top 5 guy in the UFC light heavyweight division, never got to a title shot, but was always like 1 or 2 away or something like it just never quite panned out for him. Went over to Bellator, had a really weird no contest fight that he was doing really well with against Nemkov. And then he lost in the rematch to Nemkov. But he just moved up to heavyweight and he beat Denis Goltsov, who was the PFL season champion last year or this year? So I think there's a very good possibility that Corey Anderson, if you were to magically bring him over to the UFC as a heavyweight, I think he's definitely in the top 10. And I think there's a chance he cracks the top 5 as well. So those are the kind of 4 that I mean. You've got to have Ngannou, you've got to have Nemkov. And then you can take your pick, Phil DeFries or Corey Anderson. That's kind of where I would go with it.
It's such a shame, isn't it, that we're never going to see Tom versus John Jones, and we're never going to see John Jones versus Francis Ngannou or Tom Aspinall versus Francis Ngannou. It's such a shame, isn't it, that you've got two former UFC champions in the heavyweight division that are also, questionable behaviour for John outside of the octagon, but incredible inside the octagon. Francis, like you say, in the UFC, amazing. Beat Tyson Fury, in my opinion. And, just a huge name. It would be such a good fight. And I don't know where the current set of politics are between Francis Ngannou and his and his people and the UFC. I don't know. Dana doesn't ever seem to take a backward step, does he? He's no. So it's just a shame. It's just a real shame that Francis probably in his peak right now, like coming to the end of his peak.
I would say.
Like, this is it. It's like you've missed some golden years of like amazing UFC fights, but I don't know. Like that's what happens, I guess, if you start suggesting some changes that might benefit fighters to the UFC. You go.
Yeah, I hate to sound like haters because I do feel like we come across as real John Jones haters on this show sometimes, which I don't mean to. We're just stating the facts a lot of the time. But like, John Jones is responsible for a lot of this because not only did John Jones... did you just pick a nose hair out of your nose?
Do you know what? I could feel it brushing against my moustache. It was tickling. It was tickling. So I just thought...
Part of this is going on YouTube. You're aware of that?
There you go. Skip to whatever minute, seconds and go and watch.
The thing is, John Jones not just responsible for keeping Tom Aspinall on the sidelines for a while recently, but also... John Jones could have stepped up and fought Ngannou. It took him 3 years to just move up to heavyweight. He could have stepped up and he didn't do it. And you got to wonder, was he a bit concerned about how that would go? Or I don't know. But yeah, so he's kind of John Jones is the thing in that. I mean, if John Jones steps up earlier, that fight happens. Maybe things don't go the way they were going with the Ngannou and the UFC and all that stuff. And maybe we get all of those fights. Maybe we get Jones Aspinall. Maybe we get Jones Ngannou. Maybe we get Ngannou Aspinall. But yeah, didn't happen. Right. Let's move on to a unique little question from Matt.Russo12. Top 3 custom shorts in the UFC of all time. So sort of a random one here. It depends how you want to go. Personally, I've not just thought about the shorts that I would wear myself. I've thought about kind of what they mean with the fighters and all that stuff. And for me, the top one, even though it's not the best aesthetic design, is Max Holloway's floral Hawaii shirts. Like It's just like shorts. Sorry. It's just, you know, they encapsulate what we love about Max in terms of, well, they encapsulate Max's kind of the pride he has for the state of Hawaii and what that means to him. And the fact that also, like, I feel like he's one of the people that's he deserves like a fight in his hometown, where like Dustin Poirier got his retirement fight in like Louisiana. Max Holloway deserves a Hawaii, and they've never ever been to Hawaii, the UFC. But what the shorts represent to me is those BMF fights and all of that. He had the floral shirts and the BMF fights. I know he lost to Poirier in the floral shorts, but what he puts on, the performances he puts on when he's wearing those custom shorts are just so good. Like, to me, that's got to be up there as like your number one, maybe. I really like, even though I don't like the design of it, the Merab Dvalishvili shorts, which they feel almost like a throwback to like a Rocky Marciano type. They're like the Georgian thing. They've got a little bit of red trim and they're just white. They're really simple, but when you look at Merab's face and the way that his like nose is and stuff like that, he looks like an old school boxer. Like, he looks like a Rocky Marciano sort of type guy. And I just think they just match him perfectly. Outside of that, Pantojas are quite cool. They've got the dragon.
I like Pantojas. That was going to be one of the ones I was going to throw in there.
Well, you throw in a couple more if you want.
Pereira's, I think Pereira's had some pretty fresh shorts, and you know, he's a bit of a helmet, ain't he? But Bryce Mitchell's camo shorts were pretty cool. I thought they were pretty cool.
Khalil Roundtree's were good. They had like the tie, they were like grey and white, and they had like the tie writing and then a few like kind of like tie kind of like symbols. They looked, if you look them up, Khalil Roundtree's shorts just looked like, again, just aesthetically like, oh, that's a cool design for some shorts. And then Makhachev's as well had like the Dagestani mountains on them and like a sword, and you just like, it just feels like that's what Makhachev should have.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. And then O'Malley had the pink shorts, which is just, you know, that's fun, and it matched his hair. Always good.
I mean, I like the fact that O'Malley's on brand. Like, if you've got matching hair and shorts, it's a good way to get noticed, I guess. What you got coming up?
The next one was Dane Keenan. I know him well. He's asked, if you had to build a football team from the MMA roster, who would go where? So neither of us really follow football that much, do we? So
you follow it a lot more than me.
Well, I used to. Right. I haven't really followed it for years. But do you have an answer for this, or do you want me to just go for it and you let me know what you think?
I think centre back I'd have Pereira.
What, Alex Pereira?
Yeah.
He's one of my centre backs as well.
There you go.
He's big. He's tough.
And you're not messing around. You're going to be going in and you're going to throw a little cheeky, a little kick to the legs. You know, you do not want one off of him. So I think it'd be fantastic.
Well, I've partnered him alongside Tom Aspinall.
Okay.
Big lad.
Okay.
6'5". You're not going to get much past him. Probably great at corners. And he's quick. He's deceptively quick. You want that pace at the back. So I've partnered Pereira with Tom Aspinall.
All right.
Who's your goalie?
I'll probably put Brock in goal.
Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
He can't dive. Well, he can really. Actually, he's very athletic, isn't he?
And he's a wrestler. He's fast, and he takes up a lot of that goal space.
I was going to try and bring Stefan Struve out of retirement just because he's so
forward.
tall.
Stefan Struve, my forward.
Yes, you're
forward. For the corners.
All right. Well, do you know what? All right. So let's go from goalie. So who's your goalie?
Right, I'm going Brock.
I'm going Stefan Struve.
All right.
Or if you have to go current roster, I'd go Izzy. But Stefan Struve. So we've both got Pereira as one of our centre-backs. I've got Tom Aspinall as my other centre-back. Who's your second centre-back?
I'll go Khalil Roundtree.
Khalil Roundtree. Okay. All right. Interesting. Left back, I've gone for old reliable. Never lets you down. You know, southpaw as well, which is what you want in that position. Every game, they're going to give at least an 8 out of 10. You don't have to worry about them. It's Valentina Shevchenko. You never have to worry about it. You just send her out on the pitch. You're like, you know what you're doing.
You're saying she's the Gary Neville of UFC?
Yeah. Well, left back, she's more, I don't know. I don't want to say Ashley Cole. She's not got the speed anymore. But anyway, yeah. So my left back's Valentina Shevchenko. Who's yours?
I'm going to go, again, someone who's consistent you can rely on. I'm going to go for Davy Grant.
Oh, love it. Davy Grant getting a shout out. I love it. Right back. So I'm going for someone, they've just come through the academy. They're young, but they've got those experienced defenders alongside them.
You're going to say what I'm going to say.
They've got a great future ahead of them. They're quick, they're attacking, and they've still got a lot to learn, but they are, they're very, very talented. And one day they're going to be the best in the world. And it's Josh Van.
I was literally thinking you was going to say mine. I'm going to go Lonnie Kavanagh.
Oh, interesting. Lonnie Kavanagh, very unproven at the moment at right back, but definitely a high ceiling. Right, so I've gone for a 4-3-3. I bet you've gone 4-4-2.
I was going to, but yeah.
Yeah, go on. You've gone 4-4-2. I've gone 4-3-3. Right, so my defensive centre midfielder, he's going to be the Claude Makalele of this team. He doesn't stop running, engine for days. He's a nuisance everywhere you go. You can't get away from him. It's Merab Dvalishvili.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. That's a great shout.
Who's your centre midfield? One of your centre midfielders?
Somebody who's got a bit of power, a bit of speed, awkward as well. I'm going to go for MVP.
MVP in centre midfield?
What's your problem with that?
I don't know. I think of him as more of like a winger or a forward. I don't think of him as like that solid centre midfield guy.
I'm going to have
bit
to
of a maverick
pause.
MVP.
I've got someone knocking on my front door. 2 seconds. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. Ridiculous whiffing. Someone's knocking at his door. Right, I'm going to see if I can keep this running right now. We're not going to edit it. Who the hell is knocking on Stu Whiffin's door?
Apologies there. It was,
who was knocking at your door, Whiffin?
My daughter.
Oh, good. Why did you got the keys?
Well, I didn't have a chance to ask that, but obviously that was exactly what was at the forefront of my head when I got up and undone the door. Where's your key? You got all this to come, mate. You got all this to come.
Right. Well, we can leave that running because I did a great rendition of Someone's Knocking at Your Door. Centre midfield, the guy who's just going to hold it all together. Easily one of the best in the world. And he can do everything. He can do strike, defensive. If it goes to the ground, he can just do everything. It's Islam Makhachev. He's the captain of your team. He's the pound for pound best in the world. You're not going to get better than Islam Makhachev just running the show centre midfield. Leading by example. Who's your other centre midfielder?
Do you know what? Solid, strong, reliable, and I'm going to go Arnold Allen.
You're going Arnold Allen alongside MVP. That is a unique centre midfield. Right, my attacking centre midfielder. He's the biggest star around right now. He's going to become captain of the team eventually, but Islam's already there. But soon he's going to be there. He's great everywhere, but he's a bit flashy. Hits the ball with so much power from outside the box. It's Ilya Topuria. Oh, you're not interested in that? Oh, I see.
No, I am. I'm just thinking I would have definitely gone with that. Okay. Well, I'm going to think of someone.
You've got 4-4-2, so you now need to do your wingers. Who's your wingers?
Right, so I want someone small, fast, normally would carry a ball, but I'm going to go for Volk on right wing.
Oh, Volk on right wing. Aging winger, though. He's not going to be as pacey as he used to be.
I don't know what your problem is with him, but I'm going to stick with him.
Who's your left winger? Any day now, Whiffin.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. I'm going to go for someone that's going to be, again, small, rapid. I'm going to go for Pantoja.
Again, you've got some aging wingers there, mate. I think you need some young blood. Aging wingers. Right, my right wing, relentless forward pressure, peppering the opposition with strike after strike after strike. Not great defensively, let's be real, but he's a delight in the dressing room. The boys love him. Max Holloway.
Yeah. No arguments there, mate. No arguments there.
Left wing, pacey, quality, great attacker, can hit the ball with either foot, switches stances very, very well. Prone to an error, but, he's comfortable with the ball in both stances. He's all good. And he's going to do great with the shirt sales, especially for the younger kids. It's Sean O'Malley.
Oh, sure. So you want my forwards, right?
Forwards, please.
All right. So I want an intimidating pair up front, right?
This is an old school 90s team you've got going on here.
No, I'm going to park up Stefan Struve then. I'm going to go with like current fighters then. And what I want is something that's going to be intimidating. I want something that's unorthodox, right? So my two forwards, right? I'm going to go with Hamzat and I'm going to go with Paddy Pimblett.
Oh, Hamzat and Pimblett. I wasn't seeing that. Hamzat would be like, he'd be like the Diego Costa of your team. Like, he's absolutely just stepping on people's fingers as they're down near him.
But I'm just picturing Paddy going in for headers and that. The Barnett's going everywhere. Like, I think it'd work well for him. Yeah,
and he'd wind up the opposition. I'd be like Ian Wright. Ian Wright just winding up Peter Schmeichel constantly.
Yeah.
That's what it'd be like. Right, so my lone striker, I'm either going for an old reliable one or a bit of a loose cannon. Who do you want?
I want loose cannon.
You want a loose cannon?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we're talking chaos, he's probably going to trip over his feet a few times. The defense isn't going to know what he's doing. He probably doesn't even know what he's doing. But when it works out well, the guy is magic. And it's Yuri Prohashka.
Yeah.
Big man up front, just being chayotic.
Imagine him singing his national anthem at the World Cup. No one would sing it as loud as him, would they?
Would they not? Why is that?
Chest out. He's a passionate man, isn't he?
He is a passionate man.
He'd be the Stuart Pearce of your team.
He'd intimidate you just by looking at you. He'd meditate. Like the other players on the team wouldn't know what to think of. It's like, we're all at training, but Yuri's just over the other side in the goal, just like cross-legged, just soaking it all up, sniffing the grass or whatever it is.
Yeah. That would definitely be the case. All right. Solid teams.
Right. Solid teams. I think my team wins. Right.
What do you lot think? Have I just gone with old? All my wingers too old.
Wingers are old, mate. They're going to have lost a step of pace.
It's because he's Australian, Volk, isn't it? You don't like it. That's what it is, isn't it? Same old story, mate.
Right. Benjamino, 1344. Lewis versus Aspinall is a better fight than Garn versus Aspinall. Thoughts?
100%.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, of course it is. Like,
better in what way?
Well, look, I think. Look, Cyril Garn is a phenomenal kickboxer. Really, really high level, and grand game questionable. Which I'm sure he's spent a lot of time working on over recent years. We know that Tom's really well-rounded, although we don't see a lot of Tom. When we do see him, thankfully it's all done and dusted very quickly in spectacular fashion. So I don't think it just doesn't excite me when we heard all the stuff that the UFC are going to make it up to Tom Aspinall. I know some of us thought it might be Pereira in this, crazy little thing, or maybe we're going to get John Jones and we got Cyril Garn, which I don't think anyone was like, yes. I think everyone's like, I suppose we all kind of thought that might happen. Yeah. But Derek Lewis, all right, Tom could chin him and drop him, and you think that was it, done. Derek Lewis somehow finds his way out of bizarre situations, looks like he's dead on his feet, and then all of a sudden, literally just puts that opponent into a different universe, and you just think, how has he done this? Look, I know he's had a few skids in his career, But
yeah, see, I think that's the old Derek Lewis. I don't think the new, because Derek Lewis, when he's come up against an equally devastating power puncher of late, he's lost to Taito Ivasa, he's lost to Sergey Pavlovich. I don't think he comes close to Tom. That doesn't mean it's not a really fun fight, and that doesn't mean it shouldn't necessarily have been Tom's first title defense, because Tom just needs to fight. We need to get excited. Giving him Derek Lewis coming off, one or two wins is, you could go, well, look, it's obviously not the right fight to make, but it's fun. There's a danger there because Derek Lewis, if he clips you once, you could be on skates and you're in big, big trouble if Derek Lewis catches you. But the reality is Tom should dispose of him within the first round easy. So I do think Garn is meritocratically the right fight. As you say, it's just not the fun fight, is it?
No, it's really not. It's really not. But, hopefully Tom gets that one done pretty quickly. And then maybe Lewis gets another win and we do see that fight happen. Who knows? Yeah,
I think, is Almeida fighting Volkov at some point?
Yeah, I mean, that's
or is Almeida fighting Pavlovich? I can't remember.
I think Almeida's fighting Volkov, which I'm sure must be title eliminator, surely.
Yeah, you would think if I've got that right, then you would think so.
Certainly, if Almeida wins his next fight, he's got to be in line. I know Volkov is looking really good since he lost to Tom, but does anyone want to see Tom versus Volkov again? Not really. Does anyone want to see Tom versus Almeida? Not really.
No, none of it really excites us, does it? It's they're in a tricky spot with that heavyweight division. Rory Duncan won. If you had to pick a dream fight between Justin Gaethje versus Dan Hooker or Khabib versus GSP, which one are you picking?
Well, look, simple, right? Justin Gaethje, Gaethje versus Dan Hooker could happen. It could happen. You're never going to see GSP versus Khabib. That's a fight I'd love to see.
Right, so if I'm going to amend this question just ever so slightly to make you get off the fucking fence, what if you could only get one and you'll never, ever, ever see the other one?
100% GSP Khabib.
Even if it was now?
Yeah.
You'd want Khabib and GSP to come out of retirement now.
Again there. What do you mean now?
He hasn't specified. He's just said Dan Hooker, Gaethje. He hasn't said prime.
Right.
He's just said Dan Hooker, Gaethje or Khabib, GSP.
Right, well, I've based it on prime and then you've just moved it and then moved it again.
I haven't moved nothing. You've just made assumptions.
Your Honour. Right, look, I think, Khabib is one of the best to ever do it, right? GSP is one of the best to ever do it. Justin Gaethje and Dan Hooker are not two of the best to ever do it. They're two really amazing,
the most exciting ones to ever do it.
Exciting fighters to ever do it. But I'd love to see that fight, and I hope it happens. But yeah, I'd love to have seen in their prime both of them, Khabib versus GSP.
No, I'm being annoying on purpose. No, if you're going like 4 or 5 years ago. I want to see GSP Khabib because it's a super fight. It's a magic super fight that is like a fight for the ages. If you bring them both out of retirement now, it doesn't do much for me. I think they're just both past it and all that.
No one wants it now.
4 or 5 years ago, that would have been a really cool fight. But Dan versus Justin, right now, is probably one of the most fun and exciting fights you can make in the UFC. Like that, those two together will be a beautiful chaos. It will just 100%. Be fantastic to watch.
Probably one of the most exciting fights you could currently make in the UFC.
100%. Right. Sullyman._ with Arnold Allen injured and the featherweight division moving forward with serious steam. Where do you see his future and who would you like to see him fight? Well, you'd obviously like to see him in centre midfield alongside MVP. But other than that, what do you see for Arnold Allen's future and who would you like to see him fight?
I think there's loads of fights for Arnold. And hopefully, seeing videos of, him training and stuff, hopefully he's getting match fit and then hopefully we will see him fighting soon. I think Brian Ortega's a great fight for Arnold Allen. I think he's
booked.
Who's he fighting?
So, I mean, the way I've laid this out is we've got Lopez is fighting Jean Silva, I think. Pico is fighting Lerone Murphy. Ortega's fighting Sterling. And that makes me think Volk might fight Movzar, which is the right fight to make, but I don't know for sure.
So where's this leave Yair?
Who knows? We're nowhere at the moment. But he's obviously coming off that win against Pitbull, and he thinks he deserves something big, I think.
I thought, yeah, I don't know. I don't think Arnold should be looking backwards. Yeah, I don't know. From what I gather, he was one of the first to say yes to Pitbull. So maybe that could be a potential fight for him. I don't know.
The Pitbull fight, I think, is the best Arnold might do. I'm a bit worried for Arnold, if I'm honest, because of the injuries, which is not his fault. He just can't pick up steam and momentum. He obviously had 2 losses. One of those was a fantastic fight against Max Holloway, where he pushed Max, but he did lose the fight, but he really pushed Max. And then the next loss was Movzar in a fight that I thought he won. I thought he beat Movzar. So you can't really look down on him for those 2 losses. And then he comes back, beats Giga Chikadze. But the problem is, I think too many people in the division, maybe rightfully, see him as high risk, low reward. Arnold Allen is a tough fight for anyone in that featherweight division. But if you beat Arnold, do you get the respect you deserve from the UFC, from the MMA community? I'm not sure if you do, which is a difficult position for Arnold to be in. And I think Arnold versus Pitbull is a great fight for Arnold because it's the biggest name he can get. And I think it's a very winnable fight for him. I'd love to see him fight Yair. Arnold versus Yair is the fight I've wanted to see for a long time. That should have been the interim title fight, not the Josh Emmett one from way back when I remember. Or it should have been Emmett versus Arnold, maybe, if I remember that correctly. But I know that Arnold should have been involved in that interim title fight instead of either Emmett or Yair. And so, yeah, I want to see the Yair fight, but I think Yair will look at that and go, why should I take that? I've just beat Pitbull and there was talk about me getting a title shot. So I don't think Yair is going to want to take that. And then you're left with, if the Pitbull thing doesn't work out, you're left with Yusuf Zalal or Steve Garcia, who are both on really great runs and have been really active. And you're just like, 3-round fight against those guys, Arnold coming back after over a year off, like, obviously, I want to favour Arnold. I want Arnold to win, but that's tough going, man. It's really tough going. So, yeah, great question. I'm slightly concerned for Arnold. I really hope that he can get the Yair or maybe the Pitbull fight. But if he doesn't get those, he's going to go up against people that are on like 6-fight win streaks, that have been active, that are young, hungry, and doing bits. And it's going to be like a difficult return to the octagon for him, maybe. But hopefully he can get something good and he can win regardless of who he steps in against.
Absolutely.
Right, next one. Sam _Woodhouse. Who would win 3 Mark Donovans versus Alex Pereira? And I will answer that very quickly. It's the 3 Mark Donovans because he's incredibly scary. Are you aware of this? Who they're talking about?
Is he the bloke from the Betweeners?
Yeah, he's the bully in the In-Betweeners, yeah.
Right, what's his actual name?
In real life, Henry Lloyd Hughes. Right,
so I can't help think he might be a little bit of a posh lad.
Yes, he is. Why? I'm saying dark. I'm saying Mark. He's saying Mark Donovan, the character. That's okay. What my answer was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's pretty intimidating, isn't he? Yeah,
Mark Donovan, the character. Yeah, 3 of them.
Yeah, no, I'll give it to him as well.
Yeah. Right, well, thanks, Sam Woodhouse. Next one, Niall _Ponsford. Tom Aspinall appears to be a big fish in a shrinking pond. If he was sent back to 2012, how would he have fared? The rankings for the time include JDS, Kane, Overeem, Cormier, Verdum. So this is a really interesting question and a good hypothetical question of how would Tom Aspinall have fared if he'd have been in the UFC when you've got Junior Dos Santos, Cain Velasquez, Overeem, Daniel Cormier, and Fabrizio Verdum all floating around? How do you reckon he gets on?
That's a really good question. I think he beat Verdum.
Yeah.
I think he beat Daniel Cormier.
Yep. Why? Why do you think those things?
Because I don't like Daniel Cormier.
Fair enough. Nothing to do with his striking or his size and the fact that he's so much bigger than Cormier.
Pure size.
Just pure that you don't like him. But fair enough, yeah. That's what they come here for. The analytical brain of Stuart Whiffen.
He's just a bit of an helmet. Right, so there was Overeem. I think that could be a really
Never have I more felt like I was just down the pub with like listening to people talk about MMA, which is maybe what this show is about. But never have I before. Tom would smash him up. Oh, why is that? What do you think? He's striking and grappling at the sides? But yeah, call me a bit of an helmet, isn't he? A bit of an helmet, mate. Never before have I felt like I was in like a pub in Essex talking about MMA with some old codger.
I think, are we talking Overeem juice to the gills, or are we talking...
Well, it's 2012. Was Overeem juice to the gill in 2012? I don't know. Yeah, I'll go on. So Ubereem, Alistair Ubereem is who he's fighting.
I wouldn't know how to call that one. But I've got to be honest, right? Right, would Tom Aspinall have beaten prime Cain Velasquez? I don't think so.
Oh, really?
And would Tom have beaten prime Junior Dos Santos? I don't think so.
Really? Interesting.
People forget just how good Junior Dos Santos was. Like,
I think I've forgotten how good he was.
He cleared out that whole division. He went through everyone and looked terrifying doing it. And I think Cain has got every one of the attributes that Tom's got, really, solid striking, move really fast, like great ground game. I think Cain Velasquez, was a bad matchup for anyone, but I just think he could match Tom Aspinall anywhere, and I just think like he's had more time in the trenches and experience, and hypothetically talking, in this weird question that we're answering, but I think them two in their prime. I don't think we've seen Tom in his prime yet.
Yeah, that's another factor. Tom's probably not in his prime, is he?
I'm certainly not hating on Tom. Tom's got, he's the heavyweight champion. We couldn't be happier because he's one of our own. He's a former guest of the show and he's just a top bloke. But looking at what Cain and JDS done in their pomp, I wouldn't really have fancied anyone against either of them.
Interesting. I think on paper Cain's the toughest matchup for him, but certainly interesting. Next question, Rossi LDN. Do you think Paddy and Hooker should do the Ultimate Fighter Smashes Part 2 to bring some relevance back to the Ultimate Fighter? No, because the Ultimate Fighter doesn't need any it's just a nothing thing. I don't think it need. And also, Conor McGregor was on the Ultimate Fighter, and that didn't bring enough relevance to it. Like, everyone was like, oh, Conor's on it. And then I think after 2 episodes, I didn't hear anyone talk about it ever again. So I don't think anything is going to really give the Ultimate Fighter that much relevance anymore. I think I was watching it when no one was watching it, like a few years ago, and I was still watching every single episode. And even I've checked out over the last 2 years. I just don't have any interest in it anymore.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Like when it was like Conor Uriah and Ronda and Misha, it was so good. So
John
good.
Jones versus Chael Sonnen's team was like the thing that really got me into the sport in an obsessive way. Yeah. So the Ultimate Fighter obviously has made the UFC like what it is today. A lot of Dana White, I think, has even said the turning point for the UFC was that series where it ended with Stephan Bonner versus Forrest Griffin. And that is what led to the UFC getting better deals and being able to be on TV more, and it became a big success. So the Ultimate Fighter obviously has played its part and is a very notable part of UFC history. But I just think they've been flogging a dead horse too long. It's just not. I mean, maybe it still makes them money. I don't know. Maybe it's got TV rights, whatever. But I think we're just oversaturated now. And we've spoken before about the caliber of fighters in the UFC overall has dropped because they're giving out contracts to everyone on Contender Series. They have the Ultimate Fighter as well, and then they have the kind of the Asia series and all these things. There's just all these young fighters coming in. As a business model, it really works for the UFC because they can go, all the fighters that are just like average, but no one massively cares about, that are on 60 grand a show and 60 grand win, we can get rid of them because no one massively cares. And we'll bring in this whole crop of youngsters that are on 10 and 10 or 12 and 12 or whatever it is. And it's just like, that's their business model. They're going to keep earning billions and billions and billions. But we as fans eventually do suffer because the quality of the fighters will depreciate over time because there's too many youngsters coming in that haven't earned their stripes yet. That's not to say that a lot of those youngsters can't become great, but they just need more time on the regional scene, away from the UFC, build themselves up, all of these things, but they're just thrown into the deep end too early now, and it means you're watching, like the UFC was like the pinnacle of the sport, and now you're watching fights between two guys that are like one's 5-1 and one's 6-0, and it's like that was never really the case back in the day, was it? And I feel like the quality has gone down. I don't know but ultimately the answer to your question is no, they shouldn't do that to try and bring relevance to the Ultimate Fighter series.
Should we
Lee Gent? Oh, gone.
Should we get one more in when we're just about to hit the hour mark? So should we get one more in?
Just about to hit the hour mark. Oh, yeah, we can do it. I'm just trying. That puts pressure on me to find like the best question that I can.
We can fire a couple more in if you've got some peaches.
Let's fire a couple more because this one's a random one. Would you rather take a 3-strike combo from a random woman's strawweight or have to grapple with an unranked Dagestani for 1 minute?
Oh, I would grapple for 1 minute.
Me too, all day long.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get punched in the head.
No, I don't want to take just a random combo from anyone. No thanks. And a grapple with an unranked Dagestani. I mean, you say an unranked, it might be like pot luck. You might get the like number 16 UFC whatever, and they are a lethal grappler that taps you out 7 times in a minute. But equally,
I'm still rather
maybe it's just someone's grandma.
Yeah,
you're grappling it. Like, it's an unranked Dagestani. It could be. Like, I know they're a lot of them are probably very good at the wrestling, but maybe you get lucky and you just end up grappling with someone that's really old and feeble, and you tap them out.
Exactly.
That's what I'm going for.
Smart move.
Right. What other questions have we got? Because we want to try and wrap this up, and then we will try and get to more questions another time. Tomo Yi 21. He did start with how much Lego can you stuff up your bum? Thank you for that. In all seriousness, though, what's your opinions on fighters trying to cherry pick fights? And I would just say I don't think they really do that very often. I think it's smart to try and do that. If you're a fighter or you're a manager of a fighter, of course you want to try and cherry pick the fights. Stylistically, the biggest names, the biggest paydays, the location, whatever it is. Of course you want to try and cherry pick fights. That makes business sense. But I think there's not really any fighters that can do that. It's all down to the UFC. So I don't think that fighters are really cherry picking fights. I think the managers and fighters are doing their best, I guess. But ultimately the UFC goes, no, you're fighting this person on this date. If you don't want that, fine. We are contractually obligated to offer you 3 fights a year. You turn down 3 fights, we can just forget about you and not give you any fights. We don't care. That again, the UFC have got so many fighters, their business model, for better or worse in terms of the fighters themselves and the fans, it is working for them as a company. So, yeah, I don't think there's much opportunity to cherry pick fights at the moment.
Do you think John Jones got to cherry pick fights?
Well, he was not really, because he was always fighting the best next guy up. It's just that in the end of John Jones's light heavyweight run, the best next guy up was usually a middleweight that blew up a bit and put a few wins together, but was never great. And
I guess I was talking about the Stipe fight.
Well, yeah, but that was a fight that, like, it was a fight that maybe never really made sense, but made some sense in terms of it being the biggest fight that could be made when it was originally booked. Then John Jones tore his pectoral muscle and they had to delay the fight by another year. And that's when it didn't make sense anymore, because then we had an interim champion. Tom had solidified himself as the best guy there. And also, Tom, in my opinion, became the bigger fight. So there was no reason to fight Stipe other than John Jones, Stipe, and Dana White wanting it.
Yeah.
There was no real reason for it. But at the time it was originally booked, I wasn't a huge fan of it. But there wasn't like a huge thing out there where you would go, no, you have to make this fight instead. But after the Tom Aspinall, Sergey Pavlovich fight, there was that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but maybe if you are a John Jones and you're such a big star, you can cherry pick. Maybe Conor, if he does come back, apparently he's back in the testing pool. If he comes back, and Dana might say to him, who do you want to fight? And maybe some fights Dana would go, no, you definitely can't do that. But how about this? And Conor can sort of pick, because for the UFC to have a Conor McGregor fight and a Conor McGregor winning, which leads to another fight, again, is going to be great for business, especially around a time when they're wrapping up new TV deals by the end of the year and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that certainly makes sense. What else we got? Because we got so many, I'm just trying to try and pick and choose some really good questions. Callum HH, how do you see a fight between Sarukian and Topuria playing out? I think it's genuinely a toss-up, but a really exciting matchup. They're the exact same age, height, and now weight too. Both have similar styles and the explosiveness to end the fight at any given moment. I'd give Ilya the edge in the stand-up and Arman the edge in the grappling. So, hypothetically, and may not be hypothetically for too long, Ilya Topuria versus Arman Sarukian, how does that go for you?
Well, I kind of do sort of lean into what he was saying about their skill sets. I do think they're pretty evenly matched on what we've seen so far, but I don't think we've seen the devastating knockout power of Arman Sarukian like what we've seen from Ilya Topuria. That's different level.
He had that win over Dariush, didn't he? But that seemed rare in comparison to what Topuria is doing.
And I think look at who he's knocking out as well. He's knocking out people that don't get knocked out and doing it in ridiculous fashion. And I can't imagine, we've spoken previously on this, going out for a meal beforehand to celebrate your win the night before the fight. Changing your status on your social media to champion like before you fought for the belt. His confidence right now will be sky high. Like he will just be soaring, and I think that's a really dangerous thing to have. I can't see anyone beating Ilya Topuria anytime soon.
Oh, I don't know. I agree with most of what Callum has said. I don't think their styles are that similar, but I do think they both have a well-rounded game. As you pointed out, the devastating knockout power of Topuria is the thing that really stands out to me. But I do think Arman is, and I believed this against Islam Makhachev as well. Arman is the toughest guy in that division right now. He might be the best lightweight on the planet. He didn't have the chance to prove it against Islam. I really hope he gets a chance to prove it against Topuria. And if Topuria knocks him out, then you just have to... I mean, if Topuria knocks out Arman Sarukian, I think I might just send him up to welterweight and fight Islam, man. Or if if Islam beats JDM. I would need to see it, I think. Because Arman, I think, I think he'll be bigger than Topuria. He'll weigh more. His grappling, I think he does have the edge in the grappling over Topuria, and it'd be really interesting to see if Topuria can keep him off him for 5 rounds. land that big strike. Arman's striking is getting better and better and better. I don't think he's at the level of Topuria, though, in terms of his striking. That's the fight to make in terms of you want to see the best two 155ers in the world going at it. That's the fight to make. But in terms of making money and fun and fan, joy, it's going to be Paddy Topuria, I think.
All day long.
Right. Well, as you said, we're sort of over the hour mark now. We might have to wrap it up here, guys, but we're so thankful for all of your questions, and we will, in the next few days, try to get to all of your other questions because we know loads of you have written in, and we massively appreciate it.
Yeah, so, thank you.
Yeah, so this is episode 1 of questions, and I'm hoping we'll get episode 2 out to you as soon as possible. This weekend, there is a card. What's going on this weekend?
Let me see.
We have got Delize versus Hernandez, and Fluffy Hernandez has been looking really, really good lately. So Fluffy Hernandez, and then after that, Steve Erceg is on the card as well. Ranked strawweights in Yasmin Lucindo versus Angela Hill. Andre Feely's on the card against Christian Rodriguez. That should be a really fun fight, I would imagine. Christian Leroy Duncan representing for the UK against Eric Anders at middleweight. Come on, Christian Leroy Duncan. Is there anything else of note? Not that I can see. So again, one of those cards where magic might happen. We might get some really fun fights. I think the main event could have some ramifications up the top because if Dricus beats Hamzat, he needs some fresh blood, and Anthony Hernandez is looking really good, put a long win streak together. And Roman Dolidze says, no joke, but I am going to favour Hernandez in that fight. And then I believe, is it the week after? Yeah. August 17th, Dricus du Plessis versus Hamzat Chimaev.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. That'll be pretty tasty. So, so we'll try and get some more questions out to you as soon as possible. And then, obviously, we will have our pre- and post shows for UFC 319, Dricus du Plessis versus Hamzat Chimaev. So that's it. Any final words, Whiffin?
No, I'll just to say again, thanks ever so much for everyone for chiming in with the questions. Been really, really good, and some great questions as well. And like Blake said, we will definitely get around to answering the rest of those on the next listener questions episode, which will be coming pretty damn soon.
Yeah. All right, guys, take care of yourselves and each other. Unless you're locked in a cage with someone, then smash them up, bruv. Laters, yeah.
All right.